What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we are ready to do the full review of this beautiful beast, the Fox Knives El Capitan. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everybody. Okay, first things first, this knife was provided to the channel by a great new member of this community, Hero Sticks. I want you to actually stop the video right now, come back after you go and subscribe to his channel. Really cool dude that I have been watching. Like I said, he is new to the YouTube game, and he is putting out some content. I love that he's just an intelligent guy, and you can tell that by listening to him. And I love his take on some of these knives. And also he does his videos in the backdrop of his beautiful home, which is like this rustic cabin looking thing. And every time I watch one of his videos, it's like, I want to go visit this dude. So definitely stop this video right now. Go check him out and subscribe to his channel, because he is definitely a cool dude, and we appreciate him sending this along. This is a collaboration with Fox Knives and Summit. So this is what the box looks like. Nice box, nice pouch that it comes in. I love that when makers and companies do that. Of course, Fox Knives is an Italian knife maker. And Fox Knives does a lot of good stuff that we already know and love. And this is no different as far as the quality. This is the El Capitan, and first things first, I just love the name, and I love saying it like that. I hope it doesn't offend anybody, because I'm pretty sure that's how you're supposed to pronounce it anyway. But the El Capitan, I just love saying. So every time I bust this knife out during the review of carrying this and, talking to people like, whoa, what is that? I would say it just like that, just because it's fun. This knife, if you are a subscriber and not just coming out of the woodworks of YouTube, you know this is a Kyle knife, Kyle size knife. This thing screams my name as far as just a big, beautiful beast of a knife. And when I first saw this, I saw it on Jake over at Bearded Gear's channel, which, of course, Jake is a good buddy of mine. And he received his knife from Hero Sticks as well to check out. And so I, of course, commented on that video, was like, oh yeah, that's definitely a Kyle knife. And then Mr. Hero Sticks said, hey, bud, I'm going to send you one. And I was like, man, thank you. Because, yeah, this thing is freaking awesome in so many ways. So this knife does come in quite a few different variations, because you can get micarta scales. This one happens to be G10 with aluminum, but you can get a full type version. You can get micarta. This one is also in D2, but you can get M390. So they have options. Unfortunately, there is no American retailers offering this knife right now, so you have to get it sent by other retailers that are not in the United States. But maybe soon they will start shipping them over where you can buy them like that. I'm not sure, but I hope so anyway, because that's cool. This thing, as you can see, it's a big one. I like the big knives, and so am I getting some focus? Focus. So it's 8.86 inches overall with a 3.94 inch blade. The blade thickness is about 160 thousandths, and it weighs around 6.24 ounces. I don't know if I just said ounces. 160 thousandths thick with 6.24 ounces. So definitely, it's not your typical everyday carry blade for most people. People like myself and a lot others, we carry this size of blade a lot. So if you are one of those minimalists, this is probably not going to be the knife for you. But if you like, really, really nice, tough, oversized knives that can just do a lot of work, then this might be something to look at. On the blade, you can see the Summit knives with the El Capitan and the elevation of that mountain. With Fox knives on the back with, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, it made in Italy, and the D2 blade. I love, like, Hero Stick's actually got quite a few variations of this knife. He ordered like a bunch, and so, but this is the one he decided to keep, I believe, is what his final conclusion was this one. And I love this black stonewash blade. Just look at that. I really dig this finish on the blade. Come on, camera, focus. Oh, I love it. It does, as far as the edge thickness behind the edge, it varies anywhere from 18 thousandths and goes all the way up to about 30 thousandths towards the tip. I found it to cut very well for the task that I was doing. And then, of course, you have a wonderful hole deployment. And as Jake from Bearded Gear would say, holes are greater than studs. And he would be correct. I love a hole deployment. You can use it to, I'm just horrible at it, to flick it out with your thumb. You can, of course, do your forward finger flick. Now, it's not running on bearings, it's running on washers, so it's not going to just fly out there, so you might have to give it just a little bit of wrist, but not much to be able to get that to deploy. It is not hard at all with that big blade. So as you can see, if I don't do wrist, sometimes that will happen, but I've gotten to where now I just can flick it out with no problem, and I love the sound that it makes when it locks up. Oh, just a wonderful, wonderful sound. Now, like I said, the lock side is aluminum, and then you have this really cool looking pocket clip, which I think looks really nice. It does function well. As you can see, it's not going to sit very deep carry, which I don't mind at all. And then with a knife like this, I really don't want it to sit deep carry. But you do have an integrated lanyard hole on the back spacer, and really just cool looking hardware. Now, these are T6 screws on this big knife. I kind of wish they'd have went to like T8, but not a deal breaker. Just a huge chunk of G10 that is textured to perfection, really, because it is textured in a way to give you excellent grip without really tearing anything up. And then, of course, with the aluminum on this side, this pocket clip has no resistance going in and out of your pocket. And because of the angle, it actually is not bad. Now, Jake from Bearded Gear said it felt like a dinner plate in his pocket, which I thought was hilarious. But for me and somebody who is used to carrying big, thick knives, it really was not that bad, because the thickness here, I don't even know if I wrote that down, is really not bad. It's only 530 thousandths. You know, that's not bad at all for as wide it is this way. So I found it going in the pocket, and it was perfectly fine. You know, I am biased though, because I carry a lot of big knives, so take that for what it is. But it's angled in a way when it's in your pocket to where you can kind of get your hand down there. You're not going to have a flipper tab to get in your way. So yeah, pretty nice. Let's go ahead and put it up against some other knives for size comparison. Some of the ones that we all know and love. This is against the Spyderco PM2. As you can see, it dwarfs the PM2. What about another one that's a little bit bigger? The Spyderco Shaman. So as you can see, still much bigger than the Shaman. Let's go ahead and put it up against some of the other bigger knives that we have in the collection. Here it is against the Cold Steel 8010. And here it is against the real big boy, the Kaiser Sheepdog XL. So as you can see, it's big. It's not as big as the XL, but still a little bit bigger than the 8010. So yeah, it's a big boy. If you guys like the big knives, you're going to like this. And one of the reasons you are is because of the wonderful ergonomics. Dude, this thing feels absolutely amazing in hand. Now, you guys know if you watch my channel that I really want a forward finger control almost on all my knives if I can get it. This one does not have that. However, it locks me in. I feel so comfortable in this grip. The way that it kind of swoops down, and you know, my hands, even with my really big old hands, fits in this grip area just fine. A little bit sticking out. It almost fits my hand kind of perfectly. Even if you have smaller hands, I think you're still going to be fine. somebody like Kyle Lamphere, who has even larger hands than mine as far as lengthwise, I think even him would still be fine with this. So I think it's a good handle. It's so ergonomic. The jimping on the top is not aggressive. It's kind of further apart than I usually like, but it really does feel good and makes me indexed. So when I was cutting with this thing, I felt very comfortable. Felt like I could do this and cut for a long time and not feel fatigued or any hot spots. So the ergonomics on this thing are absolutely amazing. There's only two critiques that I have for this knife. And one of them being is the lock bar. It's chamfered here, and it's also really thin. And has a lot of tension. So getting that out of the way is not the most comfortable thing in the world. I kind of got used to it when I was carrying this knife to get in there and get it out of the way. But this is probably the hardest knife that I've had to actually get out of the way. And it's a combination of lock bar tension and just the thinness that it has right there for me to press on, where it's not exactly comfortable. That's disappointing in this knife. That's really, like, if I had just a little bit better of a purchase to be able to get in there and disengage that lock bar, then this knife would just be all around just great. But it's for some reason, and I know Jake said something about the same thing, and I thought maybe it's like, okay, well, he's got smaller hands, his fingers are maybe a little bit thinner than mine. Maybe I will have better luck. Turns out not really. It's just a little bit too much tension for me to feel comfortable, and that really I didn't like it. And boy, if it just had a little bit better of an area, not as strong of tension, this thing would just knock it out of the park. Now, it does, of course, have a steel lock bar insert, because this is aluminum and steel on steel, so didn't know if I mentioned that. The only other thing that I have a gripe about is the price tag. Now, I'm not sure if they were to be sold in the United States, if it would be different, but the website that I saw where you can go and buy these right now, it's about $230. And for $230, it might be just a little overpriced for me and for maybe some people that are looking for a knife, even in this size range, because the D2 steel, even though I like D2, and because I have a lot of knives in D2, but because it's D2, G10, and aluminum, I know a lot of people are going to kind of balk at the price of $230. It's a great design. It's got amazing ergonomics. If the lock bar tension was a little bit better, being able to get it disengaged, I would probably be jumping on something like this. But because of that, I just don't know if I would pay the $230. Now, a lot of people are going to be different, and that's fine. And I really want this knife. I just don't know if I would spend it right now. Now, the M390 blade, 100%, but of course the price goes up when you get M390, and if you get the full titanium version, same thing. So you've got different price ranges for different ones. So that's a thing. Really, it's the lock bar tension that would prevent me from just buying this knife for myself, because it's just not comfortable. I did find myself, when I was disengaging this knife, to really just kind of do it with two hands, or kind of coming back this way and disengaging it with my pointy finger on the other side, doing it this way. That right there is fine. It's just not natural for most of us who are closing, a frame lock to do it that way. But works fine that way, and it is pretty comfortable. So that's a workaround if you are looking for this knife. And you might get this in hand and be like, Kyle, Jake, you guys are pansies. It's not bad at all. You might be like that. That's fine. It was not like that for me. So, the fact that it's running on washers does make this thing is action. I think I just cut myself. I did. Right there on the edge of that beard. how many times am I going to do this? That's kind of the problem, I guess, when doing the lock bar that other way, is because it's still, if you're closing it at the same time, you just don't want to close it as fast as I did there to make sure that doesn't get in the way. And yes, I need to clean this off because I think I got a little bit. Sorry, Mr. Hero Sticks. This will be taken care of before it goes your way. Gee whiz. You guys, you know how many times I've done this? I am a klutz, but if you play with knives, you're going to get cut. So it's just one of those things that's going to happen. So yeah, but I like playing with my knives. So stupid. Worth it. So anyways, I love it. I love this knife. It's just those few little quirks. And yeah, I believe that most people would probably feel the same way about the lock bar. But if you like big knives, golly, this one ergonomically is just genius. The big, huge blade that comes down pretty thin behind the edge this way, even though it's thick, it's going to be just a great drop point design for hard use and work. And of course, I didn't do all that, because this is not my knife. So I just did the regular EDC task, and it performed amazingly. So it's just a great knife. So sorry, kind of threw me off my game when I did that. But yeah, that's why you come, right? Because Kyle is the guy who cuts himself on camera and doesn't edit it out, because that's real life, damn it. So guys, I really appreciate you stopping by and checking it out with me. I do have a giveaway coming up, so definitely hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified when that happens. Stay safe, guys, in this crazy, crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.